Welcome. We're here. This is the fifth quarter podcast with Rack and Keff. It is our inaugural podcast. Numero uno. Here I'm with Mike Orakpo. To my left,
yes, sir.
I'm Keff Ciardello. How are you feeling today, Mike? You feeling good?
Oh, man, I'm feeling great. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited to finally do something like this, finally give something like this to Bobcat Nation, you know, covering some college football as well, man. I'm excited.
Me too. We should have done this a long time ago. It's a long time
that
coming.
Is true.
Wouldn't be possible without SHN, Carl Schoening back here. He's our producer.
Yes, sir.
He's setting everything up. He's got Broadcast in a Box. It's a thing that SHN provides you where if you want to do a podcast like this or broadcast a game, they could set it up for you. So make sure you go check out SHN. But without them, this wouldn't be possible. Here we are talking.
Yes, sir.
We want to talk about Bobcats, college football, whatever we
got so much stuff to cover on this podcast, okay? So we're going to try to fit it in for you guys in about, 30, 45, kind of hopefully.
We don't have a time
limit. We got a time limit.
We're just going to go, and hopefully it's not too long.
Yeah.
Well, right off the bat, we're going to talk about Texas State because that's our bread and butter. I'm a Bobcat. He's a Bobcat. Carl's a Bobcat back there.
Yes, sir. 3 for 3.
3 for 3 here. So we got 3 Bobcats. So that's our bread and butter. And so, I mean, right off the bat, this is Friday that we're filming this. They have a game in 6 days. Texas A&M coming up.
Yes, sir.
Big old opponent.
Yep.
How are you feeling about that?
Man, you know what? I am excited to get out there in that atmosphere, you know, with our team. You know, I'm excited for them to feel something like that at College Station. I'm excited to see what Jake Spavital is going to, you know, pull out with this offense that we've been waiting to see from him. So I'm saying we're all excited. We're on the edge of our seats.
Everyone's excited.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone is ready for this to go.
Yes.
See the Spavital show.
Yep.
We're expecting fireworks and big offense.
Yeah.
I'll say this, though. A lot of people assume that it's going to be a lot of big plays with this offense.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of have that spread offense that he had at West Virginia. We were talking about that earlier. Number 8 offense and all that. But, you know, he brought in Bob Stitt, that offense coordinator, and they're more of a steady game plan.
Right.
You know, 5-yard plays. They want 12 to 15 play drives.
Gotcha.
You know, and so they're not worried about epic plays, as they call it. We don't need epic plays. We need to get down the field and score.
Yep.
So it'll be a more methodical offense, almost like a West Coast offense.
Yeah, yeah.
But I am personally excited. We haven't had points in San Marcos in a minute, especially not in the Withers era.
Yeah.
You know, God bless them. They had good defense, but
yeah. And that's something that I'm looking forward to. Is obviously, you know, me being a defensive guy. I want to see how this experienced defense, but most importantly, I want to see how the defense translates to this year, being in a new defense, being in a new scheme. I want to see, how, you know, with Spavital, you know, with Zach Spavital, I want to see how he can mold this defense that had success last year with his new scheme. So yeah.
It's definitely a new scheme because last year it was a base 3-4 defense.
Yeah,
you know,
traditional base 3-4 defense. Yeah.
This year it's a 3-down lineman, 3 linebackers, and 5 DBs. A nickel package.
Yeah.
You got JT Taylor back there at the nickel corner.
At the nickel. Mm-hmm.
And so it's a little bit of a different look. A very experienced defense, but a different scheme, different coaching staff. You know, you still got Brian London though, so I'm confident. Confident in that alone.
And you got Nick,
Nick Daniels. We can't forget about Nick.
Forget about Nick. You
Poor
know,
Nick Daniels.
Yeah.
He was 1 tackle away from leading the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
Brian London beat him. So we'll talk about Brian London a little
So it's kind of, I think we have a history of having, you know, a good linebacker duo at Texas State.
I got one right next to me right now. Of course we do. We do. And defensively, they're going to be strong. I mean, they're returning 10 of 11 starters. There's even Josh Newman started some last season. He's in the rotation, just not starting. So they have it's a ton of experience coming back, which is such a great thing for Zach Spavital.
Yeah.
It's got to be easy to implement a new system when you have so many guys with a lot of experience. The one thing that is scary about that, though, is experienced guys now are going to be gone next year. So recruiting, they better go get some D linemen, D linebackers. But that's a different topic. Let's stay on the Bobcats.
Okay, let's go.
I tend to do that. I'll trail off.
Let's go.
I love recruiting, so I'll always go back to it. No, and something that we were talking about before we clicked on the recorder is nutrition with Texas State and a lot of things that have changed around Texas State.
Yeah.
You know, and because last year there was a lot of reporting, a lot of it I put out there about some shortcomings with the administration not fully supporting the program as far as nutrition, as far as the athletic training room, and a lot of different areas were lacking. Nothing malicious, just areas were lacking. Yeah. And it seems that it lit a fire underneath them, because you can see a lot of change. You can see it when you talk to the strength and conditioning coach, like I did. I put an article out. Check my Twitter for it. Free plug already. And I spoke to him about all the changes. Spoke to players about changes, getting fed more than ever. Right. And you were shocked alone at the fact they have a dietitian. Yeah. You know, Carl Nowicki was someone that I interviewed for that. Tell us about your time, because you played in the fray. Was it 2013 to 15?
2013 to 14. So 13 and 14 seasons.
That's right. 14.
Yeah, two seasons.
The 7-5 season was 2014.
Yep. 6 and 6, 7 and 5.
Oh, man. See, the last time the Bobcats had a 500 winning record was when Orakpo was here. So, now tell us about that era. Was there a dietitian? How important was nutrition there? And can you see, based on what we've talked about, how it's changed?
Well, I mean, when you look at the dynamics of college football, you know, what we're going to is, I mean, it's 2019. We're in an era where kids are getting bigger, stronger, and faster. And the only way that you can be able to put yourself and your program in a good position is to feed them, you know, for them to have good nutrition. You know, it's one thing to tell people to eat right, but it's another thing to actually supply them with the food that they need for them to be able to do it. So one thing we did struggle with was being able to have enough access to enough quality meals and food, you know, just our nutrition. You know, we didn't have the dietitian. We didn't have somebody around our program telling us what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. And it was something that a lot of, you know, Division I programs had. So we pushed for it, you know, and it's great to see that we finally have that, you know, because we need it. You know, we're competing against, you know, people around, you know, we're competing against UTSA, you know, we're competing against, you know, U of H and Rice and a lot of these different Division I schools around. You have to have that in place, because we know it's when you first come in and you're weighing something, you're 212 linebacker. We're trying to get you to be 225 quick, you know, and have lean muscle, you know. So I think that's big. It's huge for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and exactly what you were saying was the food opportunity was what they broke down to me is they need more food opportunity and food security. Yep. And the thing of Withers and the last staff, they were proactive about that. They just didn't get a lot of support from the administration, because they had Aaron Burkhouse, strength and conditioning coach. Yep. They had their dietitian. Her name is I can't think of it right now. Yeah. But they had a dietitian. They kept hearing no, no, no. Yeah. And so it started with the Withers there, and then things have kind of changed. That when I talked to those two, and I talked to a lot of people around the the team, the program, they say the administration, they haven't heard the word no yet. Yeah. Since Spav and these guys have come in, which is big.
Huge.
To get the support, because that's what they need. They need the support from the administration. Yeah. Because you want these kids bigger, leaner, faster. It starts with how they eat. It starts with how they work out. It starts with how they sleep, because they're obsessed with their sleep too.
Absolutely.
Sure. Carla Nowicki, the dietitian, she told me she wants them to get 9 hours if they can. Yeah. She told me carbs, water, and sleep were the big 3 things, and I'm like, that sounds like my life. That sounds perfect.
That's a good life.
Right. So I mean, it shouldn't be too hard for them to do that. No, but it's refreshing to see the changes, because if it wasn't that way, we talk about it. Right. And that's one thing that we're going to do on this podcast is if it's not happening the right way, we're going to talk about it. Yeah. It's not going to be blowing smoke up the Bobcats' butt all the time. I mean, we want to
give you real insight. You know, we want to give you the real. We want this thing to be nice, you know, and genuine, you know. So that's the only way, is to be real, you know, keep it 100 and give it to you straight shots.
Authentic Bobcats.
Authenticity.
Just going back to on the field stuff, we were talking quarterbacks. This past week, Spavital said it's between 2 guys. Junior Gresh Jensen, the transfer from Montana.
Absolutely.
And sophomore Tyler Vitt. We all know him from last season.
Yes, sir.
It's between those 2 guys. Yeah. Now you got 2 different quarterbacks. You got one, and Tyler Vitt, gunslinger, dynamic, tries to get the ball down the field, sometimes throws in a tight window, hits a pick.
Yeah.
Then you have Gresh. He's not going to hit the big play down the field, but he's steady. He can move the offense methodically, and so it's a true competition.
Right.
I've tried to poke and prod and be like, hey, who's the starter?
I have too.
He's got.
I have my sources, so I try to poke, but it is a true competition. You know, there hasn't been a clear front runner, and like I was telling Keff off the record, before we started, I'm actually surprised. I was surprised that, when you talk about Jensen, the quarterback, coming from Montana, with Bob Stitt, our offensive coordinator, we got him over, from Montana. He was able to bring his quarterback with us, with him. I was surprised because we figured that Jensen will be the guy, because he knows the offense. He can just come right in, pick up where they left off, and then get it rolling. But Vitt said not so fast, so it's been a great competition, and I'm excited. I'm excited for who is going to be the guy to emerge between those two.
And it's a testament to the coaches to not bring in a guy and be like, all right, we're anointing Jensen. He's our guy. He transferred in.
Yep.
They gave them both an opportunity. They gave all three an opportunity, including Jalen Gibson. He had a ton of reps at the beginning of fall camp, and then along the way they decided, okay, we got to get closer to picking who it is. So it's these two, and Gibson's been playing some receiver, working out with the quarterbacks. He could be a fun weapon, end around pitch, let him throw it, kind of like what Hutch White does a little bit for the team now.
Gotcha.
So that'll be interesting. And hats off to Jalen Gibson. I mean, a lot of people saw the video that I put out where they talked about. They brought him out right after they decided it's between those two quarterbacks, and he did a press conference with the media, and we asked him some tough questions. He said, "I'm gonna do whatever it is I got to do for my team to get on that field. I want to play. I want to be quarterback." He talked about how he felt he let his team down not being the quarterback. But a lot of poise from that young man. I think he's a sophomore. I don't know if I called him a junior. But he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's still got those years, and he's a big body. He's got an athletic guy, so he'll be good.
That's what he's a huge, but he's a big, solid body, for us, and You remember Fred Nixon? He's like a Fred Nixon. The dynamics of college football now is almost like, if you don't become the starter, transfer. That's just that's the norm, and it's like it's not teaching kids adversity. And it says a lot about your character. Like a guy like Gibson that's saying, what, I'm a team first guy. I'm going to stick it in here, and I'm going to do what's best for my team, and however I can service my team, it's something that I'm going to do. So it says a lot about his character. When I saw it, I was very happy to see that that's the kind of guy he is, because a lot of coaches talk about MKG, my kind of guy. Who we want our kind of guys here, and it seems like Gibson is an MKG kind of guy. He's our kind of guy.
Absolutely, and and that's a testament to the previous staff, because for all their flaws, Withers and those guys, they recruited well and brought in some high character guys. I deal with them all the time. Whenever I go and interview them, they're the most polite individuals that I've been around, and humble, high character guys, and so it's greatly appreciated. I've seen it in the opposite side of the coin,
right?
And it's refreshing. It's nice because those are guys you want to root for. You see that out there. But back to quarterbacks, we were talking about Jalen there. Besides Vitt and Jensen, there's still Cedric Case there. He's the guy in Nebraska, came in.
The freshman, true freshman. The young pup.
He's young. He's a young guy. But he threw for 8,000 yards at Lincoln High School.
He lit it up.
So, I mean, the kid, his tape's great. He's got a great arm. And he needs a little more size. He just needs some time. And they've even gone on record saying they'd like to get him in there for no more than those four. So they can get the red shirt. Because the red shirt rule where you can play 4 games, still get that red shirt. So they want to do that, which is a big reason. I was telling you earlier, I could definitely see him going against A&M. You could see all three quarterbacks. That's a tough opponent. So, I mean, if that score gets pretty lopsided for the Bobcats, they're going to start rolling out guys trying to get him experience.
And to elaborate on the rule, like you said, NCAA now has has made it legal to where you can play 4 games into a season and still keep your red shirt. So I think it's going to be highly beneficial for those younger guys, getting them some kind of game time experience. So after their red shirt year, they have playing experience. They can go in there and be ready to roll after. So
it's interesting to see how teams use that red shirt rule too, because everybody speculated at the beginning, teams they're going to hold back their really good freshmen till the bowl game. Yeah, and then they'll unleash this magical freshman out there, and really it hadn't been that way. Coaches are using it, getting guys experience throughout the season, so when they get a red shirt and they go into their freshman season, they've got some scalps on their pelt.
Right. And it all depends on who you're playing, right? Because it depends on who you're playing at the beginning of the season.
Well, and that's why I think it would be nice to get Cedric Case that experience against A&M. I mean, gosh, talk about baptism by fire. Throw him out at Kyle Field, 80,000 people shaking the stadium. I mean, that'll shake some nerves pretty quick. You would think it would, at least. That's your first this big.
Well, it will, but it has its pros and cons, because the con of that is if we're getting him in that early, that means the game's not going too well. So I would hope that we're not getting him in that early.
You're more the optimist than myself. I'm preparing for that.
Right.
I've seen these before. But you know what? I'd love to be pleasantly surprised. It happens from time to time.
Yeah.
But I think Texas State, they'll come out the gate competitive.
Yeah.
It's usually what they do against these P5 opponents, because they're jacked. They want to play this big time opponent. They're ready to compete. And then and A&M will kind of be looking at the clock, ready to get out of there. Like, I got a date tonight. Time to go home.
Yeah.
Let's run through the Bobcats and get out of here. So they'll come out lax. And then the Bobcat, and it'll even out like halfway through the first quarter. It'll really start to be it'll start to get lopsided. Yeah. These are what I've seen from experience.
Right.
But if you go back to 2005, that game when Texas State was FCS and Barrick Neely was quarterback, Tom Herman was the offense coordinator, and that was the last time they played A&M. That game was 41-34. I cannot remember the score. I should have wrote it down.
Yeah.
It was a close game.
Yeah, 41-34 or 41-35.
Something like that.
I think it was 41-35.
It was a close game.
Yeah.
It was not expected.
Barrick Neely.
Neely, the man. Man, Barrick Neely. It's interesting about that year because there are 2 regular season losses where A&M and Nichols.
And we have Nichols on our schedule.
And that's not a cupcake FCS.
Yeah. They're ranked, I think.
As 7th in FCS.
Yeah.
They will. We'll get down the road. We'll talk about Nichols in a bit. We'll stick with the Aggies for right now. Now, and the quarterback situation, because then we didn't even talk about Brady McBride.
Right.
The new guy.
Right.
He's probably not going to play this season, folks. It's just he's going through the hardship waiver process, trying to get that decision from the NCAA, but I mean, he just doesn't have much of a case. I think I don't know this for sure, but I think the one case that they are trying to say is, he was a redshirt last year at Memphis. So that counts as his 1 year that he sits out, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to get the NCAA to agree with.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. So I'd expect Brady McBride to sit the year, and they'll roll with the 3 guys they got now, 4 if you include Gibson. Okay. But I expect Gibson was running with the second unit at receiver, so I expect to see him early. Yeah. Moving more outside of under center, but I guess we can do a score prediction for this game. We're going to do another pregame podcast. But do you want to do a tentative little score prediction? Because I've already got one loaded.
We're probably gonna let's sit on that until the week of.
We'll hold it.
Okay, give me some more time to scout.
Fair enough. I like that. See, you want to do your homework.
I want to do my homework
before you put it on the official record. Because people are going to come back and bite you for it.
Right. But I think the over under is 34.
Yeah, 34.
We're starting out 34 and a half. Okay, so I think the over 34 and a half, and I don't know, man. Coming out, I'm putting a little faith in that defense because, that like I said, it's experienced defense. I don't see that you're going to come out and just drop 35 plus on us like that. So,
I don't either.
I would definitely, say starting out right now, I would go under for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of have them pegged around like 30, 31 in predictions I've done this week and everything.
Gotcha.
So I could see them beating that spread.
Yeah.
Over under, I mean.
Yeah.
The defense is too good to let it really get completely lopsided.
Yeah, get ugly.
But Kellen Mond's pretty good. That's the one thing is A&M's got a pretty good quarterback in Kellen Mond.
Yeah,
and they've got a really good receiver in Courtney Davis.
Yep.
So I mean that combo is it's a deadly combo.
Yeah.
I think they'll hook up for a little bit early in the middle of the game, and then
I think the factor of whether or not we cover the spread is not going to be on the defense. I think the defense is going to get enough field goals or enough stops to where we would be able to cover the spread. I think it's going to be on the offense. Okay, how many points can we put on the board to lessen the blow? So we'll see. I'm really eager to see what we do in practice leading up into the game week. I want to see who's going to be the starter. I want to see how we do in practice, and then we'll be able to make a prediction on what the score is.
You want to come out to practice?
I will. I'll come out to practice.
You come with me?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'm out there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And I'll tell you what. That's another thing that we can talk about. Is unprecedented fall camp access.
Yeah.
Frenier, he wasn't that bad about. He didn't like us talking about injuries for A&M reasons. We won't get into all that. But the injuries was his one big thing. But he let us come around until Fletcher messed it up. Fletcher Cox, wherever you are. No. But they let us. They gave us pretty good access. But man, these guys let us hang out and watch them do 11 on 11. They asked us, it was kind of unwritten rule, please just don't tweet about it and give away too much of the game plan, which is fine. They're totally fine with us talking about starters and injuries and everything. And unprecedented access to fall camp, which I greatly appreciate, because I feel more confident talking about the Bobcats leading into game one than I ever have, just because I feel like I've seen them.
Right.
I actually know this team.
Right,
when I talk about Gresh and Finn, how the O-line, they look bigger and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually witnessing it and seeing it instead of speculation and taking the coach's word for it, which is how it was in the past.
Yeah, the coverage has been phenomenal. It's like
they opened it up.
It's like we can finally cover the Texas State Bobcats football team. You would, for a team like, for a team like Texas State, you would think that they would welcome all the coverage that, they want, because we're steady trying to increase our exposure of the program, So I was kind of scratching my head, in the previous years, like last year and the year before, when it was just like limited media access, So it's great to see, Coach Spavital really come in and open the doors up.
Right. Because the media, if you isolate the media, you isolate fans.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's the way it goes.
Right.
And I understand, it's tough because media poking and prodding and asking all these questions and revealing too much, and it can be a headache, but we can be your friend. We are your friend. And if you let us be.
And just to piggyback off of that, another thing is just giving fans some kind of fan access as well. You have people that like watching practice sometimes, and they come in and sometimes you can see these players under the helmet, behind the helmet, and see who they really are, how they really interact with each other. And, there's a lot of fans who get favorite players on the teams just because of coming to practice, showing up to events and seeing how these people act, outside.
Humanizes the process.
It humanizes the process.
They're not just these drones out there smashing heads. They're real people.
Right.
And it's a real process.
Yeah.
It is important to show that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they are understanding that, and understanding that we're not trying to hurt the program.
Right.
It's just people are hungry for content, for to know about this team.
Yeah.
And if you isolate the media, you isolate the fans.
Absolutely.
And they've learned not to do that. And I greatly appreciate it. Wide open fall camp has been fantastic for us. And and also, we talked about injuries with Fran. I guess when we were talking about nutrition, I should have brought this up then. A big thing has been injuries in fall camp. No one's gotten hurt. There has been so few injuries. There were times I should knock on some wood right here. We'll knock on that wood. But there haven't been anything serious to these guys, and they seem to be real preemptive with. They talk about injury prevention a lot.
Right.
Like they don't go gung-ho and practice all the time.
Yeah.
Because what's the point in doing that and getting smashed up and hurt? They make sure that all these guys are sleeping. We brought up sleeper. They want to get 9 hours. A lot of that's for recovery.
Right.
They say the biggest reason people get hurt is they don't get enough sleep. And then they go out there and their body's tired, it's weak, and boom, you tear something.
Yeah.
So that
rest and recovery, man.
Right.
Rest and recovery.
And they want to show that off. Like, obviously, I got a real nice interview with their strength department, strength and conditioning department, because they want to, instead of hiding the injuries and everything, they want to show you, like, we're doing everything we can. Injuries happen. It's football.
Right.
It's football.
Right.
But the fact that they are showing the progress that they're making it's great.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy too. I've met the head strength coach, and he brings a lot of energy, and you see it in the videos. You see it, when you meet him, and you just know that, the way what he's bringing to that team is exactly what we need. Mm-hmm. We need energy. We need people to know that, hey, I'm going to go knock somebody in the mouth. And, when you've put in that work, you've put in the work in the off season, you've put in the work during spring ball, now in fall camp, you've put in the work, to just be successful, to come out there, finish games in the fourth quarter. I'm really excited about what he's going to bring, what he's bringing to the team.
Coach Sal's great.
Yeah, Coach Sal's a beast, man.
Yeah, he's from Oakland, California.
Yeah.
He went to UC Davis.
Okay.
And so we almost have it in common. The Raiders, I'm a Raiders fan.
Gotcha.
My dad was a Raiders fan. He infected me with it.
Gotcha.
And he was a Raiders fan, but he's an Oakland purist. The fact that they're moving, he's over it. He's done. He's rooting for the Chiefs because he used to coach up Mahomes. Got it. But I found that pretty interesting. Just a random detail on Coach Sal. And Team Sauce. That's what him and Carl Nowicki, the dietitian.
Okay, got you.
They go by Team Sauce.
Got you.
I don't know if I put that in the article, but yeah. And, a little bit of a transition here. We've talked about Texas State for a good little while.
Yeah.
And one thing we want to bring to this podcast is guests.
Absolutely.
The second half of it, we want to bring people in who know more than we know.
Yep.
It's going to be hard because we're pretty smart. No. And our first interview, why not have Mike Orakpo here as our first guest?
Yeah.
Kind of about his Texas State career and everything like that. And I think it's perfect because you haven't really gotten the opportunity to kind of tell in depth your story, even post Texas State, what you're doing now and all of that. You and I talked about it right when it first happened.
We did. And
it was right when I got hired by the Statesman, so it kind of buried that story.
Yeah.
And so it's good. It's kind of like 3 years later, we're getting the opportunity to kind of talk about it now. Interesting how life turns out, how we're here and everything. Because I used to cover him.
Yeah.
When he was, I was working at Bobcat Report and other online publications, and he was out there hitting people.
Yeah.
You had longer hair then, and I had shorter hair.
We like swapped. We swapped.
I'm probably not going to do the dreads like you did. I think I'll get some grief for that.
Yeah.
No, but let's talk about your time at Texas State, 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
You transferring from Colorado State. I mean, Rob, what made you pick Texas State, and what was it like?
Yeah, man. I'm a firm believer of you don't want to ever burn bridges. I value relationships and everything. Just how I valued our relationship when I was at Texas State, and here we are. We have the fifth quarter podcast. So it was the same way. I knew Coach Brad Fran when he was at Blinn. When I was coming out, I was in a situation where I almost was going to double sign with Blinn. So I went there. I knew Coach Brad Fran. So when I left Colorado State and I was transferring, picking a school, I was in communication with Coach Brad Fran. So he brought me in, and they ended up, getting me to come in and join the program, buy into the program. It was huge. Me and Coach Fran had a great conversation. And I think the number one thing that I told Coach Fran is I was going to bring him some leadership to this football team, because I think that's what we need, and that was my number one thing, bringing leadership and to get us into a bowl game, Now, we was almost there. We were very close. We didn't quite get that done, but I think this is why I'm so passionate about Texas State, because I do feel like we didn't quite get I didn't quite get the job done while I was there, but I know what this program is capable of. This program has a lot of potential, tons of potential. So this is why I'm so passionate, because Texas State was one of the ones that really, gave me an opportunity to come there, regardless of what happened at Colorado State. And it was something that, man, I got there and I wanted to give it my all. So
Yeah, and you are very passionate. You're one of the more vocal former players on Twitter and wherever. And some people may mistake that as like, oh, he's the guy who's bashing the school. And it's the opposite. You care enough. It's like a family member. When you see a family member screwing up, you're going to call him out.
Right.
And that's kind of what you do. It is a passion for the Bobcats. Now, going back to that, we was talking about a bowl game. Should have made it in 2014.
Yeah.
That's with the powers that be not choosing the Bobcats. It's kind of a funny story with that. The one bowl game that y'all would have played in was in the state of Alabama, and I was told that because Fran had bad standing in the state of Alabama, it was a big reason the Bobcats didn't get picked. Take that for what you will. But there's that there. But that 2014 season was bittersweet. It was a winning record season. Didn't make a bowl game, and you tore your ACL senior season. That had to have been tough. What were the emotions like for you there?
Man, that probably was one of the lowest points of my life. It was just I just felt like I was exactly where I needed to be. I spent so much time and energy rebuilding my image because people that know me, they know how I am. They know that, but on the outside, people, they don't know you. So they only can judge you based off of what you've done. So I spent a lot of time rebuilding my image and, letting people know the real me, who Michael Orakpo was really about. And, I felt like that just crumbled, my senior year. Everything that I worked for and built up to. So it was tough, man. It was tough, really going through that year, knowing what I could have brought in addition to that team of where we was. Me and Nuttall, we was talking all the time because Nuttall was out at that time as well. And we was just talking about like, man, if we were playing and, so it was a tough year. It was definitely a tough year.
And then going after that senior year, the injury, a lot of people pegged it. That's an NFL guy. The injury happened. You didn't get drafted. You got the tryout. And you and I have talked about it. Can you go into detail with that?
Yeah, man. I actually, believe it or not, I had a couple of teams. Okay, one was the Raiders. One was the Miami Dolphins. I had the Arizona Cardinals. And what we did was we looked at each team in their depth chart. And my agent was just like, talk to the people. You have the best chance of actually making this team here. When we looked at the linebacker depth chart, the biggest thing, the other ones wanted to bring me in for the rookie camp. The Cardinals was the only team that actually wanted to sign me, undrafted free agent, obviously, but they wanted to sign me. They wanted to bring me there, but they just wanted me to come in, do some tests, and wanted me to pass my physical. They wanted me to attend camp, things like that. But I got re-injured about a week before camp started. I re-injured my opposite knee, so I wasn't sure if it was because of overcompensation or what it is, but I re-injured my opposite knee, went and I was told that I needed to have surgery on that knee to be able to jog on the knee again, not even run, like just to jog on the knee. So, I flew into Florida. Florida, I can't even think of the dang city, but I flew into Florida and, that's what the doctor told us, they're Pensacola, Florida.
My grandparents live there.
Yeah. I flew into Pensacola and it was terrible news, man. So when we told, Arizona, with the Cardinals, at that point they was telling me they was going to bring me back up there, whenever I got right, but, at that point, teams kind of move on, so that's kind of, how that story went. It was a bad deal, man. So,
that's unfortunate. But I'll tell you this, though. You've bounced back tremendously, and you almost did it right away. And that's that's the Mike Orakpo way. That's the Mike Orakpo that I do. It's like, well, this isn't going to work out. How else am I going to do it? And you started training athletes. You've got all this work with an app you're working on to connect athletes with trainers. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what, the door closed on football, but talk about the door that you found that you kicked open.
I kicked open a new door, coaching and training athletes. What was crazy is I started right after that season I coached high school football for 1 year at St. Pius High School in Houston. My first year, I was a linebackers coach. My 3 linebackers all got all conference. One all state, one first team, and the second team all conference. So I was proud of that. But most importantly, I found out that a lot of these kids were lacking, training in that area, because after the season, I started training them. And what happened is their friends started coming, and it just started getting bigger from word of mouth. The next thing you know, in that high school's gym, I had, 20 guys, 20 student athletes that I was training after school and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I got into the training world. But it's nice knowing that you can change, even right now, I have kids that I trained at that time, and they're now seniors in college graduating. This is going to be, my first graduating class coming up here. So it's crazy. It's just like, wow, I have kids that I trained as freshmen and sophomores. Now they're, in college, getting ready to graduate and things like that. So it's crazy.
So you can kind of see the fruits of your labor with these kids as they grow up and turn into athletes themselves, or, collegiate athletes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you also, the app that you started to
so
athletes and trainers. Remind me the name of
Athlete Connect.
Athlete, got to plug it.
Yeah, athleteconnectapp.com. Yeah, so over time, obviously, I found out a problem in the market. Okay, it was actually around 2015 when I thought of this idea, and I just, had my notes and kept, writing down things of what I wanted to do with it. And, it wasn't until later when I started working towards actually getting this thing developed. So, what it is it connects athletes with trainers. And if you're a local athlete, let's say you're a quarterback, you want to find a local quarterback coach, you get on the app, you put your zip code in, and it'll show you a list of, quarterback coaches around the area. And you can book them right there in the app, pay for it right there, and then, go get your session in. So it was huge, because trainers like me, we're constantly looking for other student athletes to mentor and to to really train and coach up. And then obviously the athletes themselves, they're continuously looking for ways to get better, ways to improve their game, improve their performance. So I think it was a no-brainer for both parties.
Yeah. And when does that launch?
January of 2020. Nice. Yeah, that's the official launch month, January of 2020.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool thing you got coming on the horizon. It'll probably cost something to download.
Sure so it's actually going to be free for the athlete, to up until the point where they're about to get ready to book their their session. Pay the trainer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to be totally free to use. They can get on there, download the app, find the trainer, book it, and then go.
Hit them with the name again.
Athlete Connect App.
athleteconnectapp.com. Go get it.
Yeah.
All right. That pretty much wraps up the inaugural podcast
yes,
of the fifth quarter.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. If you hung out this far and you're still listening and watching, we really appreciate it. We want to continue this. We want to do it weekly, bi-weekly. We'll figure out all the details as we go on. But a big thing we want to do is we want to have advertisers, the beginning, middle, end of this podcast.
Absolutely.
It's how we'll be able to keep it going. It's how we'll be able to keep paying the wonderful SHN who's here producing this podcast. Carl Schoening back there doing a great job. Couldn't do this without him. Again, if you want to do a podcast or broadcast a game, any type of multimedia, anything you're trying to deal with that has to do with video and audio, find SHN, the Schoening Hip Network. Go find them. They're the guys. They're helping us out today. But for us, we need advertisers. We need sponsors to keep this going.
Absolutely.
So and we also need you to subscribe.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that you can do. Keep watching us. Keep subscribing to us. And please let us know. Comment like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you not like my shirt? What don't you
Give
like?
us some feedback.
We got thick skin.
Give us some feedback.
He's got thicker skin than me. You can see those muscles. But We can handle the criticism. So whatever you got for us, the sound quality, the topics. I'm moving my hands too much when I talk. Please let us know. Let us help us to get better. But
this is my first podcast. You know, I obviously, you know, episode 24, it's gonna be looking a lot different than this. You know, but it's been a pleasure. I am so excited to get back, you know, into, you know, Texas State athletics, get back into Bobcat Nation, and just, you know, I've already been, you know, obviously paying attention to the football team, but, you know, really getting into the specifics of, you know, who the quarterback is going to be, what are teams looking like, what are all O-lines looking like, D-line, and just being able to provide that former player alumni kind of inside experience for you guys, you know. So just continue to look out. We're going to be putting this thing out every single week. Subscribe, like you said, like Keff said earlier, and then give us some great feedback.
Absolutely. Not just great, any feedback.
Yeah, right.
He wants all the good stuff. Give me the bad stuff. We gotta know how to get better, because we want to keep this going for a long time.
All feedback is great feedback.
There you go. Hey, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Let's get it.